the first question is a very hard-hitting question, which is we had those dancers here. Did anybody see President Masisi dance last night? How did, where did that come from? It's the whole, that was unbelievable. When did you learn to dance like that? By the way, you're only the second best dancer in this country. The first lady is an even better dancer. So.
And I know. No, Botswana is made up of very many young people. I do sometimes remember I used to be young. And so when I also get inspiration from my wife, my daughter, and nephews and nieces, and all the people that I interact with, I do learn one or two moves. But I can't do what the kids here did this morning. I mean, they were outstanding.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. So tell me, for those, who was here for the first time at the Under 30 Summit Africa? And who was here last year? Okay, it's mostly first-timers. So maybe it's worth recapping why, again, you were we were talking to a lot of countries, and you were very assertive about saying this belongs in Botswana. Can you tell me why?
Well, in addition to what Randall said earlier on about Africa being the place to be in the 21st century, and linking that to our origins, the cradle of mankind being here, and those who are readers in paleontology, you would get to know that the latest findings are actually suggesting that the original origins of mankind are in the place where my vice president comes from. It's a place where we have the most diamonds in this country. Whatever the case is, whether you're from Olduvai Gorge or Mangaung or Minbuteti, Africa represents the freshness of the world. Africa represents the greatest potential there is for growth, now, growing, and into the future. But within Africa, there are places where there is the most conducive environment for you to play out your creativity and your transformative ideas. We'd like to believe it's Botswana. And if you're in doubt, test us. Come on. See what we have to offer. But more than anything else, we want to be a place where the best, the most creative, the most willing come and test out their ideas. You'll find us willing, wanting, and able to give you an opportunity. We're signatories to the AFCTA. We're members of the AU. We're members of good standing. We have the oldest, stablest democracy on the continent. We're market-driven economy, and our policies, our fiscal space allows for that. So if you land your innovation here, it's most likely to reach the world. We have friends all over the world. We have no known enemy, and we want none. And so why would it be that people would want to trade with you if you are from Botswana? Why would they not open doors for you? But above all else, you have a president and a first lady and a government that's more than willing to embrace youthfulness and the exuberance that comes with it.
By the way, any president that wears a bucket hat, you can believe that. So. We first met a couple times before, it was right before COVID. We were going to do this like in we're going to do this in 2020. Yep. How did COVID, it delayed us 2 years, but how did COVID affect everything you're talking about?
COVID was the most debilitating onslaught on our economy. But we, being a resilient people, refused to be put down. We recalibrated, we reconfigured, and we recharged ourselves to respond aggressively to COVID. And we drew a lot of lessons from our experiences with HIV and AIDS, which nearly annihilated us. And so with our great minds in the sciences, we're able to propel ourselves to the forefront to the extent that we became the country in the world that discovered the Omicron. And not only that, more recently, I was telling Randall yesterday, we were the first country, and the only so far that I know, that has been able to scientifically demonstrate a positive correlation between a particular blood type and propensity to being afflicted by COVID when one has AIDS. And so these discoveries come out of the harsh conditions we were put through, and we're able to respond. That makes our DNA. Test us, you'll get the best out of us.
When we were catching up yesterday, you were showing me the technology that was kind of bringing water out of the air. You know, how is it? You know, this is a country, and anybody who's spent any time traveling, it's you know, one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's also one of the driest countries in the world. How has the topography shaped the mindset, the Botswana mindset?
You know, we in our and I'm glad the Vice President of Namibia is here, as is the Vice President of Kenya and the Minister from Nigeria and First Lady of Guinea. We in Namibia are among the driest countries in Africa, most water depressed, given our land space. And so we find it as an innate responsibility to go out and find out those who possess the intellectual capital to help us resolve this problem of being water scarce. And luckily we went over to California, which has experienced a lot of dryness also, and came across a medical expert, a Dr. Professor Patrick Senshu, and he initially was going to be collaborating with us on the production of COVID vaccines right in this place, BDIH, and he's actually rented space here, and he's putting up clean rooms to go and get into the production of vaccines and medicines. And among the technologies that he also possesses was a technology that has a capacity to harness vapor from the atmosphere and transform it into water using solar panels. And I played a video to Randall yesterday, which was the proof of the concept in where? In Botswana. Many things are to happen in Botswana. So we went to one of the driest parts of the country, in the south. And there's a big farm there, 10,000 hectares. And they rear sheep and cattle. And it's really dry. If they get any water, it's usually saline water, and panels were put in to water the livestock and some to water the staff. And yes, water does come out. Drinkable H2O.
Does being such a small country population-wise, large country with land, but small with population, does that help, things like that, does it help or hurt? You don't have scale, but of course you can, you're nimble.
You know, it's an important element of strategy to look out for your comparative advantages. And we in Botswana are meticulous with that. We don't take injury in the fact that we have not been able to increase our kind as rapidly as others. Whatever that means. But we recognize that we live in a country that's made up of 552,000 square kilometers of land mass. We're surrounded by other countries. We have no access to the sea. We are a population of about 2.45 million persons and growing at a very slow rate. So we want to turn this into an advantage. We don't have the size of market. So we sign agreements and treaties with those countries that have the market. We make friends with them. We allow them to come on shore and carry out business as freely and as ambiently as possible. We provide for their safety and security, including of their financial resources, and protect it. We offer banking services. We offer a legitimacy and integrity of governance that makes them not blink once when they put their money in this country. We have developed rapport with the international community that will never second guess us. And further to that, we also tell them, as I'm about to tell this audience, that the biggest difference that you can make if you are a transformative innovator is the scope of your difference that you make. If you live in a city like my Kenyan friend, we were talking yesterday, has transformed a city on the shores of Lake Victoria into a health hub, a smart city, and it has about 2 million people. He can boastfully and rightfully say he's made a difference to a city. But if you come to Botswana, do exactly the same, you make a difference to a whole nation state, a whole country. And so you don't get cities represented in the United Nations General Assembly, you get nation states. So our voice is amplified by our scope. Simple.
Tell me about the role of diamonds in Botswana, because it's globally, of course, best known for that.
Diamonds are Botswana, and Botswana are diamonds. I keep saying, and I will never cease to say, for it is true, there is no country for which diamonds make a difference like they do for Botswana. There is no country in which diamonds make the difference that they do to Botswana. Everything you see here, including your willingness to come here, your happiness about being here, and your want to stay here, is due to diamonds. The roads you're on, the hospitals, the schools, the education, the freshness of minds that you see, all this is on the back of diamonds. But diamonds alone are necessary but insufficient, because we're not the only ones with diamonds. The difference is what you do with them. And that's why I say diamonds are Botswana and Botswana are diamonds. So the synergy between a Botswana and a diamond makes for good life.
And in terms of, I know right now, you're in negotiations with De Beers on what that relationship's going to look like going forward. Is that a chance to reset anything, or what are your thoughts there?
There's every chance to reset everything. Let's make it clear. We love De Beers, and De Beers loves us. We love De Beers, and De Beers
is Botswana, and Botswana is De Beers.
Us. De Beers and their work made us what we are. And we, with our provenance, made De Beers what it is. So there's a symbiotic relationship. But as with every relationship, it's a negotiated relationship through and through. And so when time comes for a renegotiation, of course we'll negotiate. We'll negotiate so that we get an advantage better than what we got before. It's only normal, Even when you take a young lady out to a not so cozy place, the next time the negotiation results in a better place. And hopefully a better relationship, an outcome.
That might end in a diamond.
Yes, and it settles in the finger. So that's our relationship with De Beers. And we both know what we've done for one another. The truth is out there, but it's not for public consumption. But we're negotiating, and we're going to reset our economy. Diamonds make the biggest difference to this economy. And so one of the fastest ways and the biggest ways in which we're going to shift the dial, move the needle, transform, change everybody's life, whether you're in Botswana or not, we're going to change Africa's lives.